Okay, so this is just a general overview in terms of the bonuses and additional amounts for your reference. So, for example, for additional earnings, if you go to the very last tab under yearly totals on your invoice, you'll see payment for cash out for slow season or for inclement weather, and then also funds for training and supplies. You might see that there's a rollover funds amount from previous years. If, for example, you did not meet the minimum annual amount for payment, that would be listed here to be able to give you the total for that. Okay, so for referrals, repeat clients, we do offer commission and set rates for that. So, say for example, if you had a client who came through Sedona Mystical Tours, or perhaps they referred you to one of their friends who raved about their experience with you, and either one of them want to book a session or a tour with you, we do offer a repeat client rate amount for that listed here. And then, for example, if you did have someone outside of a source from Sedona Mystical Tours or from your own company, whatever that might be, if wanting to use our permits, for example, we do offer a commission for payment for that you would receive in addition to your facilitator pay rate. Okay, so for reviews, we do have 4 different platforms where people can post and share their reviews. For example, if you had 4 people all on a tour or maybe a sound healing session with you, and all 4 people left a review on all 4 different platforms, you would receive, for example, $160 just for that one session or for that one tour. So we do offer suggestions or considerations for how to request or to obtain more reviews, which you can click and view tips or suggestions by clicking on those links here. Okay, so we do offer payment for any company meetings or official paid trainings, which the hourly training rate for that amount is listed above. As far as sessions, which are typically done as indoor sessions, so those are individual one-on-one healings or readings, or for example, an indoor yoga practice, we have additional amounts, for example, for astrology or for Ayurvedic consultations for an additional $10 per session per chart, just for the additional time for planning and preparation that goes into preparing for those consultations. And then for the hourly rate for the in-person sessions, that one is a little bit higher than the tours, just to account for the additional time for setup, for preparation, for setting the sacred space or cleanup or anything afterwards. So that's why that amount is just a little bit higher than for the tours. Okay, so for sessions and for tours, if you have additional people, if you have, for example, more than 2 people per tour or per session, say, for example, you had a sound healing that had maybe 10 people that were there, you'd receive an additional $10 per person if that's over 2 people. So say, for example, for 10 people, that would be an additional $80 for that. Okay, and then so for client communication, we do offer a $10 bonus if securing the location and contacting the client 48 hours in advance. And this applies more so for tour guides as far as inputting the information into the Google Calendar for SIMSA, or for example, if you have your own studio location or you're trying to communicate the location information to the client, that's why we recommend reaching out to them at least 48 hours in advance. And that just sets a good precedence and helps to create that initial connection and help answer any questions or anything that they might have about the experience as well. If not contacted within that 48-hour period, that $10 amount bonus would not apply. And if it is less than 24 hours, or if it's not resolved after 5 p.m. the day prior to your tour or session, then those remedial rates would apply. And that's just to help to account to pay for any additional time that the admin is working past hours, or for any communication that's not resolved, is more of an incentive just to remember to be able to reach out to clients early to set that good first impression. Of course, there's always going to be exceptions to that, so just make sure to read those exceptions below too. Okay, so if you perhaps are offering a session to a facilitator or admin, which is paid by SMT, or maybe you have a facilitator or admin coming to shadow your experience, for example, that would be for a 90-minute healing session would be $15, or a 3-hour tour would be $30. Okay, so the below will just apply to tour guides. And so for the hourly rate for tours, you'll see that listed here. And then if you are listed as a primary guide for a specific booking, so sometimes we get large groups that need to be split into two. And if you are the designated person who is contacting the clients and also the facilitator, it'll be your responsibility to initiate that conversation and then also apply that $10 amount or the additional amount there. Okay, so as far as the hourly rate for tours, there's the probationary tours and there's the hourly rate for tours. So after you've been approved after the probationary tours, then you'll bump up to the hourly rate. We also have additional amounts, whether that be for sound healing tours or if you do have a commercially insured vehicle or that you want to use, for Sedona Mystical Tours, you'll receive payment for those booking requests to help pay for that as well as for your insurance, which you can read more of that information listed here too. So if you have any questions, email to billing@sedonamysticaltours.com.